In that same poll, only 3% of black South Africans report racism as a serious problem in their lives. And yet, a low-level race war wages on in South Africa. Now, does that sound the teeniest bit familiar? Déjà vu, perhaps? That's because our own White House here in the United States is pushing this same garbage, generational guilt ideology.
The systemic racism the Vice President just referred to. The systemic racism is a stain on our nation's soul.
There is no stain on our nation's soul. Ryan Mullen, he's a South African and an author of The Lion Sleeps Tonight. He said it well in a recent New York Post op-ed. Quote, "The overarching truth is that an idea pushed South Africa to the brink. You guys know this idea because it animates the sermons of critical race theorists trying to force you to take the knee and atone for your supposed sins." For more on South Africa and all of these ideas and its relevance to America, let's bring in Jaco Booyens. He's a native of South Africa, and he's also president of the social media site Free Space. Jaco, thank you so much for being with us. Listen, I believe that South Africa is the only country in the world right now that was essentially refounded on the principles of critical race theory. I want your opinion, though, as a native of South Africa, if you think I'm being fair with that assessment, and how has it worked out for the citizens of your native land?
Yeah, Stephen Jen, thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much. And let's be very clear here. There, it was maybe not called critical race theory in 1994. I was a senior in high school. I was there. I had to do my service. It was mandatory. I saw President Mandela come, and it was a euphoric moment for a nation coming to call what we then called the Rainbow Nation, right? But it was called Black Economic Empowerment. And Black economic empowerment is the founding and the foundation of critical race theory. And in America, we name things with flower language, but it's Black economic empowerment. Now, if you take a foundation as Black economic empowerment, and then you look at 32% unemployment, you look at the fact that we had in 1994 300,000 farmers. We have 32,000 farmers today. It's an implosion of a country, of a nation, based on this theory that reverse racism will work, based on the theory that you can expand the elite class, which is politicians in South Africa, by far the greatest celebrities, and undermining their own people, running on a democracy. And I think this is so important that Americans understand. We're a republic. We're not a democracy, because under a democracy, you can do these kinds of things without the world frowning upon it until it finally implodes. And this is a warning. This is a smoke signal to all Americans to say, if you follow the left, this will be our destiny. It's not if, it's when, because this is the direction of Marxism. These are the same people in South Africa, the African National Communist Party, that renamed themselves the African National Congress. They follow people like Mao and Stalin. These are their heroes, right? And so that's what we're seeing the beginning of in America today.
Jaco, as somebody that was born and raised in South Africa, you see now in the United States critical race theory in our schools, it's in our military, it's in a number of corporations now. What concerns do you have, and what parallels are you seeing with what's playing out there and what we see playing out here in America?
I'm seeing Nancy Pelosi and the squad play the playbook. And this playbook has been written many, many years ago. This is coming post-Second World War, and this is the plan. They all play from the same playbook. They go after history. They attack the flag. They attack the national anthem. If you understand, we lost our flag, lost the national anthem, toppled all the statues, set buildings on fire. Then they come with, and watch what's next. They'll come with affirmative action. And in America, they will not call it affirmative action. It'll look a little different, but it's land reparations in South Africa, taking land for ancestral land. And we saw a congresswoman a couple of weeks ago in America say we can't celebrate 4th of July because we're not free, because the land was stolen. That's insanity, but this is the playbook that they'll play. And so we literally, right, South Africans are watching a script play out that we have lived before. That little young country, in a way, is showing America what it looks like when you embrace these radical ideologies.
Right. No, I think that's exactly right, which is why I think it's important for us to highlight it. Not that we're trying to pick on South Africa. We're trying to warn Americans. This is the path the left wants to put you on. And I talked about the economic toll, Jaco, but let's also talk about the crime toll for South Africa, because unfortunately, South Africa ranks 9th in countries in the world in terms of its homicide rate. If you take out really tiny and island countries, it's the second most violent place in the entire world after only Venezuela, which is also very telling because of the leftist government, of course, of Venezuela. But the murder rate in South Africa is 7 times the American murder rate. And America is considered a fairly violent country, right, among industrialized nations. It's 7 times worse in South Africa. We've had a real uptick in violence in this country lately, Jaco. Do you think this is also, unfortunately, part of the trend in which we are following, we are tracking the South African model?
Absolutely. Whenever you embrace critical race theory and you do something like defund the police, well, that happened in South Africa, steal from the police. We have a president in prison today because he siphoned off billions, if not trillions of money to his cronies and out of the country and to himself, right? Our police force in South Africa, we're going to give you a number, right? This year the police force have lost 29,000 weapons that they don't know where they went. They've lost 1 million rounds of ammunition, right?
Wow.
That they don't know where it went. It goes into the hands of illegal immigrants. We have no border. There's no border. When you don't have a border, you defund the police, you corrode and corrupt the system internally. This is what you have. You have anarchy in the streets. It's the apocalypse in the streets today. And how much of this can we already see taking hold in the United States of America? You're talking about cities like Dallas, Texas lost its vice unit. There's no more vice unit because of defund the police. You're going to have crime in the streets. It's total corruption in South Africa. And really what happened here, and I want people to understand this, Jacob Zuma has been guilty for a long time, but he's part of the ANC. The current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, is also part of the ANC. These two are arch rivals. Jacob Zuma came back and said, I'm going to take the presidency back. And Cyril Ramaphosa said, well, in that case, we're going to take all the indictments and we're going to throw you in prison. And you split a party in half, and they created anarchy in the street. But it's been boiling for decades.
Jaco, we're just a little over a month out for kids going back to school here. A lot of parents have spoken out against CRT. There's still a lot that don't know about it. How important is it that parents know about CRT? I know you're a father, and that they also continue to speak out as we go into this next school year here.
The most malleable mind is the mind of a child. And if you can bend that mind and you can corrupt it, they will literally create a voter bloc in a nation that are subordinates. And that's what they want. The left wants to drive this nation to its knees. In South Africa right now, the ANC is smiling. Believe me, they are. Because they are reminding people, you cannot survive without us. Without us, without big government, without the dole, the handout, the welfare system that's out of control in the United States. The Biden administration just put 26 million Americans on the welfare system. You're making them dependent on the state. But you have to break the inner city, the society. So parents have to fight this with everything they've got. You don't have kids looking at other kids with a racist point of view. They play with everybody. Racism is taught. Trust me, I come from South Africa. You teach this. We cannot allow teachers to indoctrinate your child in the classroom. They should teach math and science. They should not be teaching our children how to hate one another and create a divide that you're less than, or that one certain skin pigment does not like you or think less of you, because they're splitting the nation in order to control the nation.
Yeah. Well, Jaco Booyens, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much.